everyone. It is Friday, May 29th. It is the last day in May. Isn't that awesome? Isn't it nice to think? So now just remember, you haven't worked a day at school in April or a day at school in May. I'm just saying. I mean, it's just a reality, right? Sorry, like the bearer of bad news. I don't know if it's good news or bad news. It's just news. Not like we didn't know it. Carol, is it working better now?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Uh, so when we think about that, that's like, oh yeah, right? Okay, so I am going to do Word with the Doc. So this section, like I said before, this series came about because I get a lot of requests for beginner series, and people are always like, what's the best way to do this? So today we're going to work with docs. Now, the reason I didn't get yesterday's attendance or yesterday's video is because, like I said, I went to see my son yesterday and help them move, and I was on baby duty for a good part of the day. So you'll get it today. But when I came home last night, I realized I hadn't done that. So what I did do, I went through and changed the screenshots. So this time they're actually right. So we're gonna work on docs. This is the first time I think I've done one of these in a long time where everything's a capital letter. I don't know why in the Bitly. All right. So today we're gonna know how to create a new doc, the basics of docs, and the menu bar components. Because what I did is I went through and listed them and gave you a screenshot. Listed them and gave you a screenshot because remember these screenshots change all the time. Sharing a doc from inside docs.
Can you mute everyone because there's too much feedback.
Yeah, sorry, Margie, I forgot. You're right. I'll do that. I sure can. Mute. Oh, sorry guys. I love you, but you're gone now. There you go. You're welcome. My bad. I totally forgot. I got out of my habit here. Okay, back in. Fantastic. All right, so we're also how to make a copy, how to rename a copy. It's not quite the same way we've always done it in the past. How to add an image, hyperlinks, commenting versus editing. There is definitely a difference. Opening a Word document in Docs, saving it as a doc, and downloading a doc into Word. So yes, you can tell these last two items. Oh, come on, Margie, that's not a lot. That's easy. Here we go. Power slam. Wow. Okay, you ready? You're all done. Okay, just kidding. Okay, so there's three ways to get to a doc. I'm going to close lots of things so that they're all out of the way. I'm going to close everything to the right so we're done. Okay. So the first one is I can always go to the waffle. I can click on the waffle. I can choose the docs. I can click on blank. Lots of us do it that way. The next one. So there is more than three ways. There's like 6 ways to do it now. I can get it from the option menu. I'm not sure what happened here. There's a picture right here. Oh, there it is. It used to be a blue picture. I didn't change the picture. It's a rainbow new. I can get it from the option menu. So the new button, the My Drive, or the right click in an empty space. Going to show them all to you. New, the My Drive. Oh, how about we go back and not do that like that, Virginia Bond? Okay, or do it like that, whatever. When you click the down arrow here, there's a docs. Right click in the space. Okay, docs. So I've given you 4. There's 2 more. 2 more? Yeah. So you can go up here and you can type docs.google.com in the omnibar, or you could do Virginia's favorite way. Ignore this. That's wrong. You can do my favorite way is when I go up into the top and I open a new tab, which is Control T, and I type in docs.new. Only if I type in docs, not dos.new. Okay. Docs.new will open when I hit enter. Sorry. I know I didn't break anything. We'll open a new document. See how that's the fastest of the set, right? So when we think through the set of what there was in here, this is one. You gotta have a new page. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. These are you gotta go to Google. 1, 2, 3. This is 1. This is 1. See how there's difference? So I always go for the most efficient. This is my favorite. Docs.new, sheets.new, slides.new, forms.new. Get the idea. Here we go. It's all the same. Okay, sorry. Music teacher kicks in and sorry, you get those benefits. Maybe. Okay, so I like that way the best because it's easiest. I always tell people when you do a full training with me, there are there are total pictures in here. Whoo, got really nervous there. I'm like, okay. So if I go to the docs home and I go to docs.google.com. Oh, not for docs. That's funny. I can tell you that's going to take us somewhere and it's probably not going to be good. Oh boy. Docs.google. This is the docs home, right? So docs home has lots of things. This is where you start, a search box, a template gallery, changing options, and recent documents. So here's a new document. Here are templates. There are lots of templates in here, by the way, to choose from. So most of us start everything from scratch. Remember, using templates, there's no shame in using a template. Oh God, no, there's no shame in using a template. They have lots. I'm gonna tell you what, when I redid my resume, I started with this one right here. Before, it's a really nice one. It's a Swiss resume. I did change it after that. I redid it a little bit, but I like this border. Left justified with 2 columns is very modern, considered to be the nicest of the newest templates out there for resumes. I don't know who needs to know that. Somebody in the crowd must need to know that. All kinds of letters. When we talk about letters, we talk about those friendly letters. Remember all those times we used to tell the kids you got to make sure you indent? Indenting is gone. The concept of indenting in a letter is an old concept. So anybody like past the age of 25, stop teaching that to kids. It is left justified. It's space between the areas, not a indentation. That is weird. And you'll notice in books, most books don't indent anymore either. They do left justification. Why do they do that? Because you get more words in a line if you do left justification. And then they use just a little bit of space. So instead of like a full return, they will do a 1.5 space between their paragraphs, and you can tell where the new paragraphs start. So it's a weird thing, I know, but it is what it is. So there's some other things in here. There's a lot actually. There's sales, there's legal, human resources, freelance engagement. There's some essays, there's some book reports. Don't be scared to use the template. Is basically what I'm telling you. Also up in here, you have a search bar, okay? Really simply. Yeah, there are much more in Word. And if you're really looking for something that you want and you can't find it anywhere else, just go to Google and type in doc template for like garage sale. I am sure you'll find one for free, right? Don't be afraid to use that Google for what it's worth. All right, I'm going to close that. So that's that basic kind of overview. Your most recent documents sit there at the bottom. Now remember, they don't really live there. They live in Drive. So if you never feel like you ever have to come here except for templates, that's a good thing. So just when you absolutely need a template, because you can always go the other way. Gonna move on. That was easy enough. All right, so the layouts of doc. I'm actually going to open up a document that I created last night. If somebody gets really excited, they're going to read this and they're going to laugh because this is what happens when Virginia gets bored and she decides to write a story. I'm going to just change the text a little. I'm going to make it a little smaller so it doesn't overwhelm all of you as we're going. Okay, so we have a story in here. It's all good. Let's do the layout. So our basic layout is this. I have a text bar, a menu bar, toolbars, and workspace. Okay, let's look at that. A title box, a menu board, okay, a menu bar, not a menu board, a toolbar, and a workspace. Okay, you're funny, Lori. Okay, so menu bars. When I click menu bars, I get options that pop up. This bad boy right here is what I call like the main menu bar. Now, there's something that happens every once in a while, and this disappears, and people feel like they break the Googles, right? Anybody ever feel like they broke the Googles? But there'll be no breaking of anything. This is what happens. All of a sudden you got stuff that's gone, right? And you're like, oh my God, where'd it go? Ah, I've broken it. I have no menu bar, right? All the time. And I say to people, it's okay. Just go all the way over to the right. Good. Nice job. Haven't had a chance to break it yet. Yeah, you will. Okay. And then when you click this little down arrow, it pins the menu bar back up there. Okay. So no freak outs when it happened. If you can't see yourself in this, you should see yourself twice or your avatar twice. If you can't, you don't have a menu bar in place. And all you have to do is click that little down. The same thing exists in Word. It actually it exists in all the Office products. We pin them there though. That's all. We pin them there so they stay in place. So this is the equivalent of a pin. So you want to be able to see that piece right there. Okay, so that's pretty easy. All of those pieces. Okay, I am going to pin this to the beginning. I'm going to move this over, and then I'm going to show you magic. I may be showing you magic. I don't think I am, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do side by side for a minute. Okay, maybe. Maybe I'm not. It's not going to let me. All right, so forget that thought. Next one, we're going to actually walk. There it is. You're a little late to the upgrade here. I'm going to walk through each of the bars and show you what they are. So and I'm going to not walk through every piece, okay? So don't freak out. They almost always are the same, but they have a couple different things in here. Okay, the file bar. File is where you want to make a change to things, right? When we think about file, but it's the big thing as a whole. I want to make a copy. I want to own a new one. I want to download it. I want to rename it. I want to add a shortcut. Ooh, that's a really cool one, right? I can move it from here. People don't realize that you can actually move from here or from up here. Okay, those are all things that you can do. I can move right from within there. My favorite in here is the version history. We're going to come back to this in a little bit. Okay, this is like make it or break it. I broke it. Can I roll back to an old one? Yes, I can. Okay. Next one, the edit. So what I did is I put the list of them and then I put the screenshot of them. Understanding that next Tuesday they could totally change, right? You're not gonna hate me because Virginia said, well, Virginia was wrong. This is why she upgraded these, because what happens is like my screenshots were 2 years old and I had new stuff that I had to put in. So like it's okay. It just changes all the time. I just don't freak out about it, right? Stuff just changes. And I realized that they moved some stuff around. I was like, didn't know that. So next one is the edit. So edit is when I want to change it. Like I want to change the text within the document itself. So if I come up into here and I go to edit, like I can undo, redo. So undo, right? I undo the text. I redo it back to where it was. That's the, oh my God, I screwed it up. Oh no, I want it back the other way. That's how to remember those. That's the, oh crap button and the, oh, uncrap my crap button. Okay, so you know which one is which. Left goes backwards, right goes forwards. Google will only do that so far. That's why knowing where the version history is going to be super valuable. It's where the cut, copy, paste functionality is. I don't ever use that. Just so you know, I don't use it here because I use these, okay? I use Control C, Control V. And I'm going to tell you, I barely use undo and redo up here in the menu because they're over here. So what they did, Google took the most popular functions for a teacher and put them into this bar right here. Most of you are never going to stray into this menu bar unless you need something really specific. Isn't that nice to know? Almost everything's at your fingertips. View, how we're going to look at it. I want to change the way it looks overall, like the layout. So think that's the term we should actually use there, the layout of it. Do I want a ruler? Okay, do I want a ruler? I think rulers just turned on. I think it's such a weird thing to have a ruler. Okay. Do I want an outline? Does everybody know how to make an outline? Should I do that really quickly so you can see it? Okay, my favorite thing, and because we actually have to edit this document, so we're going to do it in a minute. So let's just say that I'm just going to put a couple of things in here, right? I put a couple of things like that. And I want this to be like paragraph 1. So this little bad boy right here, the normal text, this is how I add an outline. But I'm going to click on it and I'm going to go to heading 2. And as soon as I do that, this is my outline document. And it'll say, okay, right there, see that? So now if I do the next one like this, and I change that to heading 2, it takes me, and there's the next one. And then I go to this one and I do this heading 2. So think about dates when you're working with students, right? You can put documents in by dates, can make these headers. And when you put these headers in, what happens? They can come in, they can click on this, and they can go right here to the last paragraph. So that's in a doc. If I was in something that had like, ELA math, science, social studies, and you did that there, you can have the text so they can pop around in the document without having to scroll. It's a time saver, okay? That's the outline. So now that I've demystified that magic outline that you always see and you didn't really know what it was, that's easy to use, right? The headline 2 doesn't change my text font. Does that all make sense, right? Okay. So viewing, full screen. This is always a bad boy. So some kid puts it into, this is the other freak out moment, right? Right? You're now here and you're like, holy crap, what did I do? Because I have nothing, right? Google is broken. Oh my God, I broke Google. I have no toolbars. Where did they go? All you have to do is hit escape, right? You just hit escape and they come back. Escape will get you out of a lot of things. Just think about that in general, right? Escaping will get you out of most problems you get yourself into, like full screens. Next one, inserting. So when we think about inserting, we're talking about putting something into a document, like a picture, an image. Can you put a video into a doc? Yes or no? Anybody know the answer? Nobody knows? Yes, no, maybe? Come on. Somebody out there. No. Gina, I love that you took a risk. Good girl. Okay. You can put a video link in a Word document, in a doc, but you cannot embed a video into a doc. And why? Because this is built for text. Docs are built for text, right? PowerPoints are built, slides are built for visuals. Does that make sense? When we think about the purpose of what we're using it for, you cannot insert a video. See, the option isn't there. It just isn't. And people get so frustrated with me and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't build Google. It's just the way it works. Okay, what can you put in? I can put an image, I can put a table, I can put a drawing, I can put a chart. I don't know too many people that put a chart in, but more power to you. Horizontal line, the equivalent of a break. Okay, so if I did this and I put right here and I inserted a horizontal line, right? I broke it into 2 pieces. Sometimes the students rate, by the way, this is a 5-minute rate for you. I told you I was going to do one. So this was my 5-minute rate last night for fun. Okay, so it's not edited either. It's a pure ugly 5-minute rate. All right, it was fun though. So can put a horizontal line, can put in footnotes. We'll come to that in a few minutes. Special characters. If you are an ELA languages other than English, there's your special characters. Equations. If you're a math person, it's going to give you a little pop bar right here. Ooh, fancy, fancy. 3, and you kind of have to get used to them. Times 4 equals, okay? You actually have some math equations in there. Headers and footers are in here. Page numbers are in here. You have options now. They changed page numbers. It was only one place and it was so hidden, it was hard to find. I can insert page breaks, links, take text, highlight it, attach the link to it. We've all done that. We've seen that before. Commenting. I don't think I've ever gone to insert to comment, but that's okay. Bookmark. If I want to bookmark a section, come in and bookmark a section, like I want to start here again. It's a good thing to have. It's a very old concept, bookmarking. It comes from the days when we were building web pages. And my last one on the list is table of contents. So this, I believe the outline actually functions better than the table of contents. It's a lot easier to set up. So I tend to just use that more than I would use a table of contents. Now, if you're writing your doctoral dissertation, have at it. You can use the table of contents. my daughter Becca was finishing her thesis and had to do like a table of contents, and I'm like, hey, let's just make it an outline. We went through and made the outline. She's like, oh my god, that was so much easier. I'm like, I know, it's shocking, right? Sometimes your mother does know something. All right, next one. View search. Let's go to the next one. Format. So we come up here into format. Looking at this one, text. So that's like bold. So that's like specializing your text, right? Specializing the size. They sit all right here. Paragraph styles. I'm going to tell you right now, most of you are never going to play with paragraph styles, so don't get yourself too much in an uproar about these. Just going to say, I know if you really want a border, like you're my boss, and you really feel like you need to put a border on, have at it, okay? But it's not necessary. They don't have fancy ones that are like, you know, Microsoft Word. It's okay. Let me just give you a little realization. We're in 2020. We don't need borders. That was so 1990. I can't believe I can even say that, right? It just is, it's pretty much an old antiquated component. So indenting is here. It's right here too. See that right there? Line spacing is here. That one you will want. That is one of the ones you're going to need. That's the weird one that you can't find if you don't know where it is. It's there. Columns are there. So columns are also, this is the only place you can find columns. Numbers, bullets and numbers, not numbers and bullets. They're right here. Okay. Table. You know, I played with this last night and I was like, what in the world is this table? And now I don't remember because I played with it so late. I don't remember what it is. I think you have to be in the table. I'm going to insert a table down here real quickly. Somebody have a question?
Yeah, I'm hoping I didn't miss the page numbers. I felt I just want to know what the options are because
I'm going to come back to them. So I'm just kind of giving you an overview. I'm going to come back to that one for sure. But it's top right, top, I don't think it's top left, top right, bottom right, middle, I think bottom left. Now I got to go look. Right there. So that's the first one, page numbers, but it's going to show up twice. So don't worry. So because it page number shows up in format, as in I want to put it in my headers and footers. It also shows up in insert. There's your options. Oh, I was right. Top right. I'm really having a hard. Top right, not including the first page. Bottom right, including the first page. Bottom right, not including the first page, but there are more options. So you can put more options. There's not a lot of customization.
Just what I was looking for. Thank you.
Perfect. So format table. Oh, so if you're in here and you can play with your table, quite honestly, I've never formatted my table from formatting. I've just always done what I needed by inserting a table. A lot of these are a little bit more functionality than we're ever going to need as a teacher. Most teachers need to be able to make a document, right? It's that easy. If I have an image and I want to format it, I can come into format. I'm going to teach you a few other ways to do that. Clear formatting. So if you get into the muck, you know that if you worked really hard on a Word document with somebody and somebody came in and made like crazy kind of changes and you couldn't get rid of it, the only way to really get rid of everything was you had to clear the format. So you could do that here, but there's actually easier ways, and that would be to use version history. And I'll show you that in a few minutes. Tools. So a lot of people have installed Grammarly on their machines, but Google now comes with grammar check. It's really good. You're going to find out in a minute because I have a grammar mistake in my typing. It does a word count for every kid that wants to know how many words there are in here, right? So this has 336 words. Good to know. I made my 250 words. Yay. Case every kid needs to know that because every kid wants to know that. It only has to be how many words? It has to be 1,000 words. Are you kidding me? And I need that sometimes when I'm doing applications for things or applying for something. It will only allow you so many words. You have to know your count. Suggested edits, compare documents. And you see that there's a new thing there. Came out on Tuesday. I haven't had a chance to play with it. I think it's side by side because so you can have documents side by side and you could look at both of them. They'll tell you which one is the newer one, which for a lot of people could be super beneficial. Julia, for some reason, I thought of you. I don't know why, right? And she knows why. The Explore tool, which sits down here. We're going to come back to that. Linked objects. So if you had something in here that was linked, it would show you. There's a dictionary. There's a translate document. Probably one of my favorites is there's a voice typing. If you've never used voice typing, let me see. Let me engage you with voice typing, period. This is the bomb! Exclamation point, exclamation point. And I see people going, what? Are you kidding me? Period. All you really have to do is speak your punctuation. It's the equivalent of a scribe. I love Google Voice typing, right? Because I can speak so much quicker than I can type, period. See that? And Michelle was like, what? Right? Right? Because quite honestly, I can. So it's got a mistake here, right? It's not a scribe, it was a scribe, right? You do have to still do with some special ed. Yeah, it's great for special ed kids. Exactly, Julia. Because you know what? Reluctant readers are not usually reluctant speakers, and reluctant writers are definitely not reluctant speakers. They will talk your ear off. So teach them that their words equate their speech equates words, and they really understand this, right? It's an awesome tool to teach kids, right? It's so. How did Virginia find out about this? My daughter Becca Bond was always on the bus Friday, Sunday when she was an undergraduate. She was a runner, a collegiate runner. So they were either on a bus or a plane going somewhere. So she always had homework. She did almost every one of her papers speech to text, every one of them, right? And I was like, that's a good girl, including her 30-page senior project, speech to text. She goes, all I had to do was go backwards. Oh my gosh, Margaret, my husband can't, well, he can type, but it's like hunt and peck with 2 fingers. And I taught him this. He's like, oh my God, where has this been all my life? I'm like, well, you can marry it if you want. That'd be great. Go ahead, have at it, right? So that's a great tool to have, voice typing. Script editor you will never use. Trust me, you won't. Preferences, probably not. Accessibility settings, that is a training all in itself. But there are settings in here. You can turn on screen reader support, okay? You can also turn on screen magnifier. There are other pieces in here that can be very beneficial if you need that. That, quite honestly, Google accessibility is a training in itself. So I'm going to go to my slides because when we come in here and we talk about add-ons, there's a picture there. Even my pictures are loading super slow. Okay, well, there's a circle right there because I have add-ons. There they are. So when you go to the add-on menu bar, it will say document, get add-ons, and manage add-ons. In the middle, you may have things in there. I do because they are add-ons that I have added on to my Google account. So let's just have a quick conversation about that. Extensions go to the end of your Omnibar. They change the functionality of all of anything you deal with on the internet. Add-ons are added on to the Google app. Just the way the word sounds. They change the functionality of the app. They work in every browser because they're attached to Google, not to you and the Chrome browser. Makes sense? And I wrote this nice little way to say districts, I should have said district techs, may be fussy about this due to Ed Law 2D compliancy. I have been working with techs all over the place to get them to try to change that mentality. So I will show you one of them. So I'm just going to back 2 things out. I'm going to back a few things out. I'm going to get rid of my form right here. I'm also going to get rid of my line. So 2 things that should come out. Perfect. So this is my my writing piece that I did. And sometimes I don't love the font choices within Google, right? There's not enough. Julia can attest to the fact that I am what you might call a font snob, right? So there's an add-on called Extensis Fonts that I will start. It will run over here. Yep, continue. I'm going to give her permission to run. It's going to ask me which account I'm going to use. I haven't used this in a long time, so that's why I'm getting this error right now. Come on, I should have done this beforehand. This will allow me in and I just say yes. It's fine. It's going to run a script that's going to pull things in. It's going to pop here. And what it does is it gives me a lot of fonts. A lot of fonts. Okay. I love fonts. I love a nice font, and you can see that there's lots of them. Actually, one of my favorites that I've been using is Abril Fat Face. I like the name, which is kind of funny. It's a nice bold font, but this is a really nice one, like ABZ, right? So I can select all my text over here and I can click ABZ. And once I use it, it now becomes part of my font library within Google. So I really like that. So this add-on doesn't work in slides. So that's like a heads up, but I learned a trick. If I copy and paste the text I want out of a doc and I put it into slides, the font comes to slides and then I have the ability to use it forever. Yeah, that's like the hack of a lifetime there, because I really like some of these. I like a nice clear font that's easy to read. And it's very rare that I'll use a scripted font, but now and then I might want it for a couple words, but not a ton. But so you can see there are lots. So that was the A's, right? There's the B's. It means I don't have to go out and find fonts. They just kind of sit there. So there's also another one that I really like. This is for elementary teachers only. Those of you who think I've lost my noodle, it's all good. I have one called Magic Rainbow Unicorns. Yep, I know. Because of the unicorn, right? So everybody needs to like have a little glitter fight now and then in their life. As this comes up, what it does is it gives me the ability to write with a rainbow font. So I can start my color with red and I can end with purple. Okay. And let's do original rainbow colors and just start the rainbow magic. And look what happens to my text. It becomes a rainbow, right? I know it's so stupid, but okay, it is what it is. I like it. Sucks to be me. It's just something fun, right? Literally, I had to fight for this one. I had a tech go, why in God's name do you want this? I'm like, I can write in rainbow text. Leave me alone. Like, it's that simple. I can just push a button. He's like, really? Do you want to write in text? I want to write in rainbow text. That's all you need to know. So that's a really simple one, but you know what? That makes me happy. On a long day. My life is simple. Okay, so that's through the basics. So now, the last one I want to show you is the help section right here. And I've showed this before a few times. When you go into the help here and you go to training, it's going to bring you into Google support. And what's really valuable is these two sections right here, the basics and cheat sheets. And if you notice on the slide presentation, I'm like, it's like having KVB right there with you. Okay, maybe not as good. I always tell people that, Google is not as good as I am. Okay, so that's going to help. Very helpful. So here, now we're going to get into the meat. Gone through the basics. Google saves every 2 to 5 seconds. So we never have to file save. And if I go to file, there is no save. So many times I say that, I go files and I go, oh my God, wrong product, right? I don't have to file save here. Any online product is automatically going to save. If you've ever been through a construction project, you know how valuable that is. So when we name documents, if we don't name them right away, they're going to save as untitled document. Well, that's annoying, right? So if I hadn't done this, if I hadn't typed in short story, it would still be untitled. So there's 2 ways about this. When I start a new document, it will pick up the first thing it sees on paper. Jeez, I'm crow. I can't type today or any day. I don't know what I'm kidding. Docs.new. Yep, thanks. I just hit it in the wrong place. When I go to docs.new and I make a new document, there's like hamsters in my laptop today. Okay, right here. If I am in a high school where the header is a student name first, right? How many of you have that? Oh my God. How many of you have that as your header in a high school? Almost everybody does, right? The name of the student first, and then it's the class, and then it's the period, and then it's the date. If we leave it like that and we don't tell our kids how to name things, and it's just untitled document. Untitled document 1, 101, 1,001, 1,000,001. You have kids like that. Teach them how to name things. A trick is to rework this just a little bit and put the title right here. Okay, so this is going to be called the title right here. You're going to put it there. As soon as you type it there, then you're going to click here and it automatically goes there. Don't type it twice, okay? Either train them to type in the document once up here, put the title in, and then start, or have them start here and click there. It's going to be really valuable because that way they're going to have a real named document. So tell the kids what they should name it. If you're using Google Classroom, it automatically names it for them, puts their initials on it. So it's pretty easy. But we also have to break kids from that habit. For little people, that's good. For kids in elementary school, that's good. But when they get to late middle school and high school, they can make their own documents. They can start to curate their own information. Stop babying them. All right, next one. As we move on, naming documents. Okay, the next one, making a copy. Also under here, under file, I can make a copy. So this is where we want to file save as. All of us Word people, we are conditioned to that. I need to make a copy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my original, I'm going to file save as. There ain't a save. Can't make it happen. It's not there. So what you actually have to do is you have to make a copy and then you have to rename it. Okay. You have your original, you take it to the copier and you rename it. That's how it works now. Okay. So when you want to file save as in Google, you make a copy and you rename the copy, then you got to. Make sense? That is a make or break. If you rename the original one, you lost it. It's gone. And it sucks to be you, for lack of a better word. But I can fix it in most cases. So I'm going to skip a spot and I'm going to come back. So instead of, so this is the way I would do. So like save as is make a copy, renaming is a better option. If you do that, what you can do is you can come into file and I can go to version history. Okay, so version history keeps all the latest versions of what I work on. Here they are. Okay, so I'm going to roll this back a little bit. So you notice I just did this, I made this change here, right? And it's going to show that if I roll it back to yesterday's version, this is what it looks like. Okay, I can roll backwards. Well, that's sometimes how I feel when I start a blank document. Why does it have a blank document? Because I titled it right away. As soon as I came in, it saved it. So it saves them every time there's a change, every time there's a big change, when it notices that you've stopped working, okay? And I can roll to any version. So I could roll to this version. I could say, okay, let's restore this version. That's really good. And I'm in it and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really like that. I want my rainbow text. Sure, go ahead. Question, go ahead, ask it. You type it in the chat and did I miss it? Oh, well, that's okay. If add-ons are not able to be installed using our school account because of admin, can we, oh girl, Jennifer, you just like hacked yourself around it. You are. You can put them on your personal account and share the document to your school account. Absolutely. Yes. Just know it's going to go into your shared with you. And then all I would do is make sure you did the shared with you. And then when you pulled it over, I'd probably make a copy and put it into your own drive. Does that make sense? Because then when you put it in your own drive, you'd have your own copy. So if I went out here, I'm going to go back out, restore this version. I'm going to go back out, make a copy, right? Or I could add to my drive because this is a shortcut. It would be a shortcut. But if it was shared, it would be add to my drive. Here's another trick right here. If it wasn't my own, right next to the short story, I could, there's usually a folder with a plus on it. I could click on that. It would add it to my drive. I'd have my own copy. So those of you that are in my slide presentation, feel free to make your own copy, keep it and have it and make it your own. Something I'm sure that Lori has already done. I didn't roll my eyes at all, Lori, sorry. Okay, adding an image. So here we go. I'm going to add an image in really quickly. So when I want to add an image, it's insert, right? Same language, not put in a picture, use the language, insert image, upload from computer, search the web, drive, photos, URL, whatever. I'm going to search the web. I'm going to do it just a little different way. I'm going to do it this way first. Search the web. Look what happens. It opens up a sidebar. Oh my gosh, if this is not enough reason to use Google right here when you do things like this, I don't know what is, right? I mean, besides the fact that it's slower than dirt right now. It's going to go right to images. And I'm going to say teacher. And I'm going to say teacher clip art. I want teacher clip art. Anytime I pull an image this way, it's labeled for reuse and modification. So that means it's free to use. and that you can change. Okay, yeah, that looks like me. That ended up being. All right, perfect. Now I have an image in, and when I right click on it, or when I go like this, I lied. When I click on it, I get my options for what my text will do around it, right? So I usually want a text wrap. So now that's how I text wrap. That was not magic. The picture comes in, I click on it, and then I see those wrapping features underneath it. So then I can move it around, right? I could have it in the middle, I could have it on the other side. That's when you can start to really justify how you want your pieces to look. Adding images. You can also take a picture and also do some other things. So insert from the web, sorry, I clicked a little too fast, too far. Yep, I got lost right there. Perfect. So the other way to insert the image, down to the bottom of your document, you're looking for this icon. This is called the Explore tool. So has anybody used the Explore tool before? Okay, the Explore tool is like my favorite, just gonna say, because it allows me again to do research within my doc. I need a drink, sorry. So I am going to research teachers. Just picked any word. So in here I have teachers. So you see that I have lots of things. Maybe I want to grab, I look at this. When I click on it, it's going to open up a web page for me, right? Right next to where I'm working. Not over here, but right next to where I'm working. So I'm working in this document and this one opened up. Okay, so that's super helpful, first of all. Let's do the same thing again. I'm going to find another person, another article. Ugh. Again, it opened up right next to where I was. So yeah. Allow ads. I'm gonna just allow them through. Yeah. Still, what? Continue to say whatever. Okay. Oh, thanks. When I go back through this way, it'll have an article in here, so I could pull text out of the article. So if I did do this, like, yeah, I don't want the subscription panel. Sorry, guys. If I pulled it through and I decided like this sentence right here was from that article, right? This one right here. See those quotation marks? I can click a cite. I can just click that and it will cite it. So I got a number 1 and I now have a footnote. So gone are the days of me, Gina, like, I love it. Well, isn't that wonderful? Okay, Margaret, see you later. No worries. Citing this way, though, gone are the days of footnoting and endnote. You can't do endnotes, okay? Sorry, I wish that was an option, but most people want footnotes now instead of endnotes. What's nice about it is you can actually go into these settings and you can change the format. So you have MLA, APA, and Chicago. Gone are the days of that nasty teacher I used to have in high school who I swear to God could find every like space that was not in the right place when I wrote these stupid bibliography entries, right? I just could not do them. I was bound to determine. There's like an app for that now. There really is, right? There's an app for that, and Google realized it was so important that they actually put that in there. Teachers who are struggling with their students, maybe cheating, you can also do this. You can take a piece of text like this. You could copy it. You can paste it up here into this box. Right? I can just paste it up here, and you can hit enter. And if you don't get anything back, I'm not getting a direct hit on anything. That's a way to check plagiarism. Sneaky peeky. Okay, so nobody would ever plagiarize, right? That just never happens. So let's just do a couple other big things that I think are really important. The Explore tool also has images in here, right? About teachers. I think it's a pretty valuable way to use it. You can literally just pull them over. For little people, this is so much easier than going out to find an image and pulling it in, right? Because all you have to do is this. I'm going to put my cursor here and I'm going to tell it to put a picture in, right? I just tell it to insert and it drops the picture right where I want it. Don't have to worry about moving things around, and I can still change the picture. Just going to make life a lot easier for little people. Not only does it pull the picture in, when you picture in this way, it also pulls the website in. It's still linked to its original site. Whoa, that's like a yay moment, right? Because now we know where our students got their images from. Okay, so let's go back through. So in my document in here, I have a, you'll notice that Grammarly is working, right? Or the grammar component. She loved her job, but one day knew, that's the wrong one, right? So I can right click on it and it'll say like, I want to do a spelling and grammar check. It didn't fix it. So, right, I can go back in and it should basically say, that's not it. I'm going to ignore that and ignore, because new is an actual word. It doesn't fix it, but let's do that, new. So let's say that I had bigger. Okay, let's just say that I can't spell. Sometimes that happens. I can right click. Did you mean bigger? I sure did, right? I can go in and it'll automatically fix that component for me. So that's a pretty easy thing. If there were tools that I use more than anything, I'm constantly just changing size, and I'm just doing that here, right? I'm not going up into format. I'm using these tools the most. I'm not popping around, okay? So, and if I went here and I said, oh, maybe I want to link this text, I have to highlight it. I come in here and link. Those of you who have done anything with, sorry, can't type and think. Have done anything with hyperdocs. This is the beginning of a hyperdoc, right? That's all it is. It's text that's linked to a website. So then when it turns blue, it means that it'll take me somewhere else. Okay, so pretty simple way to use that. All right, so like there's a spelling here. So what if I made a mistake and I realized that I had the word like new in there too many times? So I'm going to teach you a way to kind of cheat sheet. You can control F. Does everybody know how to use the control F in a document? This is the find feature, okay? So my favorite thing about the find feature is that it works everywhere, okay? Not just here. So did you ever go to the Engage New York site and you're looking for stuff and you're like, where the heck did they put it? And you're on a page and there's like a gajillion entries and you can't find it? If you control F and just think of as it you're freaking looking for it, okay? Just kidding. It's a find feature. You're going to just type in what I'm looking for. So maybe I want to see how many times I said the word bigger, okay? I said it twice. Maybe I want to look for the word teacher. How many times was the word teacher used? The word teacher was used 11 times in this document, right? So there's also times you make a spelling mistake. So Virginia, when she tends to type really quickly, doesn't have students, she has stud nets. Just as the way it happens. I have stud nets instead of students. So you could go through and look for every one of them, but remember, there is a find and replace. And this is one of those times when I'm looking through here and I'm like, I don't remember where it is, right? I don't know where it is. And I keep looking and I'm like, I don't know where it is. I can't find it. So I stop looking. And I come over here to the help section and I tell the search, and I go to search the menus and I do find it. Look at that, find and replace. So I want the find and replace. I'm going to find all the stud nets and replace them with students. Okay, I don't have any in this document. It would tell how many. It would match the case, whatever. This is good if you like somebody told you how to spell like the name of a software company and you did it wrong and you didn't want to go through the whole document. You could do them all in one fell swoop. You spelled the student's name wrong, it would fix every instance of it. So I didn't go find it. I came to help and I searched the menu. That's a time saver, right? I know it's here somewhere. I just don't know where it is. That's a simple way to do it. Okay, let me see where I am because I don't want to get, I think I'm just about done and I make sure. See what else I have in there. And then I'm going to take some questions. So we added a link. We did a hyperlink. Okay, commenting. I knew I had a couple more things to do. So commenting. Commenting down the side of a document, you can see I get a little box here, right? As soon as something's highlighted, I get a comment option. I can comment here or I can comment here. Doesn't matter. They both do the same thing. This gives me a single comment box, right? Comment. This one opens all of the comments that are in here. So it's really, really simple to use. I love commenting more than I like editing for students. I would use that way more often, commenting, and I'd have students comment on each other's stuff as well. Allow people to comment. Don't give them the ability to edit your document. Matter of fact, don't put your hands in their document. And I would say things like this. I would highlight it and say, let's try bigger vocabulary. Okay. Bigger vocab choice. Because this is my first time, right? We want students to go through, they'd make some changes, they'd work their way through. So you're going to edit down the side, and then they're going to go through and they're going to make those changes. And you're going to see those as they do them. They're going to, and once they do it, they're going to hit resolve. They're not just going to hit resolve, because you'll also, when you come up here, you will see a list of all the notifications and all of the suggestions that were made up here. And that's really helpful. Okay, so type in your comment, it will appear. So this is kind of not in the same place, but I like it, but it's just not quite, I think, quite honestly, it's in the same place. I think this is going away, okay? They're kind of walking away out of the suggestion modes, because edits become suggestions. You can edit directly, you can suggest, or you can just view. And quite honestly, suggestions are really becoming comments, right? You're going to tell a student what to change or maybe some ideas. They are suggestions, but you can't push them to that. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. I'm almost done. We already did version history. That all makes sense, right? The version history, the ability to rewrite, to go backwards. Two things with version history. All of you that are in this document right now, version history works across all the Google components. See how you're all in here as somebody's in here as an anonymous armadillo. I really like that person. Cool, right? If I had sent you this link to your email directly and you came in with your email, so Michelle and Karen and Jessica and Tammy and Jody all came in with their email, I would see who you were instead of this anonymous. That's when version history works the best. Version history works the best if you know who's actually making the changes. So if you go in here and make a change right now, and I'm not even sure I gave you that option, you're all just viewers. If I gave you editability and you were editing it, it would only show me that anonymous whoever was in there making a change, and I can't really narrow it down to who it is. So if you're doing collaborative work with your students, the best way to share the presentation with them is to share it out by email. Okay? If that befuddles you because you have so many, let me teach you a little trick. It's a lot of work at the start, only once. Okay? How many of you have used Google Groups before? Have you created Google Groups? So you have the ability to go in to Google. They're like your own contact lists. You can go into groups. So you build them in contacts, actually. And you can create a contact, but then you can create a group. Oh, look at, I have a duplicate in here. So you can create lists, like I can have an Albany list, and you can tag people with a list. So when you want to do that, you and like your first period class, you might make a group called first period. And you put it in there, and when you send it to them, it just sends it all to them by email. It's a lot easier than finding their names on a list. So groups.google.com, and you can create your lists, okay? That's one way. Just think about contact lists. They're, like I said, they're preloaded work, but then you can use them the whole year, right? You don't have to do it that way. And also think about creating a list for your teacher friends, right? Probably not a bunch, but I don't like that. You have a lot of friends, but you just don't have a lot of friends you're going to probably share stuff with. But if you have a lot of people across the building, you can create that contact list and start it from, oh my God, I got 11 and I need 12. Who's the 12th person? I can't remember them. You can create that list yourself. That makes your life a lot easier, right? Instead of having to do it every time. Okay. Let me see where I am. So here's my last one. Microsoft Word to Google. So I have over here, I am going to add I'm going to go to Drive. I am going to click over a document, okay? I am adding a document, a Word document called a choice board. I think I did. I'm trying to add it. I'll put it in here. I'm trying to put it so I can find it. So there it goes. See how it uploaded really, really fast. Now I'm going to open it. I'm going to come out here. It's going to be at the bottom. Just going to be called a choice board document. It's a Word document. This is usually what kind of befuddles people the most. See it right there? I'm going to double click it. This is not in Google yet. This is a preview spot. Most people try to type in this. It's called a preview. The black screen, I can't do anything in it. Lots of people come in and like, I can't use Google. It doesn't work because they never get past this space, right? So it's going to say to you, how do you want to open it? Do you want to open it with Google Docs? Yeah, I want to open it with Google Docs. In the past, like last year, when you opened with Google Docs, it would create a Google Doc. It no longer does that. See, this is called Choice Board Word Butterfly. It still has my doc stuff in there. I can still edit this edit this, and it's still in Word. I haven't changed it. That's kind of awesome, right? So basically, Google Drive just became your receptacle to just hold everything. I can take it, I can download it again. It's going to stay in Word. This is all going to come through just like it was before. Or I can go to File, save as a Google Doc. Now it'll take all the features over. All right. So that's just really good. If you got a parent send you a doc and you need to open it and you're like, oh my God, I'm on a Chromebook, I can't do this. You absolutely can. You can just save it and you can open it, save it as a doc, or you can just keep it in Word and it doesn't matter. All right. So that's still simple backwards. So I take this, right, and I'm going to close it. And all I do is I take it backwards, right? I'm going to download this right there, download it. Because I'm on a laptop, it's going to go into my download folder. Do you know where your download folder is, by the way, my friends? On a Chromebook? Control J. Okay, so this is gonna download where I put it. Okay. Yeah, I do want to replace it. No. Yep, I'm just gonna make it 2. I'm just gonna rename it. And there it is. Cool, right? Simple. Okay, here we go. So that's everything. So Margaret said we couldn't get through it all. Listen, I'm a powerhouse. I can get through everything really fast and easy. Questions? I'm going to stop sharing and I'm actually going to stop recording. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, can you just go back to say like where you get that the document, the